everything, and exactly how I would rebuild that business. So it can happen to anybody. You've built over the months, you've built over the years, something happens and everything comes crashing down. Do you give up at that point in time? Maybe you feel scattered. Maybe you are scared because you don't even know if you try again if it's going to work. You are unsure of what really matters. Maybe you think that you need to make things complex for you to succeed. This lies you. And today we're going to be talking about, if I woke up tomorrow and everything disappeared, what am I going to do? I'm looking at my audience, my clients, income. What would I do? So let that sit. Now, the hard truth is that most of us are too much. The things that we take in are way more than what we're executing on. Because you are in that consumption place, that place of consumption, you're not doing as much as you should be doing. So you're consuming too much, you're executing too little, and in some cases you're copying blindly from people that you should not be copying from. People that own experience, their own expertise is not really the same as yours, and you're copying from them. In some cases, you're just showing up, but you are avoiding selling. Some of us have issues with selling. We feel if you're selling, you are just you're a bit local. You're not that. So we keep on avoiding selling. So information is free. Yes, you go on YouTube, you go on Google, Facebook, Instagram. There are so many information available out there that are free. But do you know what is not free? Direction. Direction is expensive. You can have all the information out there, but how do you know the first step to take, the second step to take, the third step to take in a very organized manner? How do you know? You need that direction. So now, first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to focus on revenue first. I'm going to focus on my revenue and not my aesthetics. So I'm not going to bother about how perfect my logo is, designing 50 Canva templates before I launch out, for validation before I launch out, over branding myself. I'm not going to stress myself about all that. Because if you focus on all that, you're going to spend so much time and energy doing that you may end up never relaunching. And I'm telling you from a real life experience. So if you spend your time doing all these, you're going to hide in branding, because when you're branding, it feels productive. But in a lot of cases, they remain in that branding stage because they're avoiding rejection. They're avoiding that fact that they will do this and put it out there and somebody will reject it. So because of it, they just get stuck in branding for months or years, or permanently. Some never leave branding. They will tell you, I created this for this, I created that for that, but I never launched it. That is an example of someone that's stuck in the phase called branding. So I'm going to start with identifying my problem. I would identify with problem identification. What urgent problem can I solve? So I'm going to find out, okay, if this is a problem that I can solve, I would make a list of these problems. Then the second question I'll ask myself is, who is actively trying to solve this problem? So I would look at my competitors, see what they are doing, and see if there's something I can replicate from what they are doing. Because if I can find who is actively trying to solve this problem, then that brings me a step closer to knowing the right things to say, the right things to do, and the things to put out there to get my audience to take action and pay attention to me. Then the second thing is that I'm going to keep my offer simple. This is not the time to start looking for complicated offers that, will stress your audience. Remember that because everything has come crashing down, we are very low on energy. So it's very important that you preserve your energy at this point in time, because any other setback, any other stress, any other thing that just can make you give up totally. So this is not the time to start, thinking of one complex offer that you're going to put out there that is going to scatter the floor and all that. Just pick one offer, make sure the results that they're going to get from the offer is clear, the transformation they're going to get is very clear. Keep it simple. Then I'm going to do a lot of direct selling. This is not the time to say, I'm going to be posting and people will come to me. No, you don't have that luxury. This is the time to be going out and be meeting people, chasing them. I'm going to use my ads to work for me. I'm going to be doing a lot of DM outreach. I'll be reaching out to people via DMs. I'm going to be starting conversations, as many as possible. I'm going to be using value posts that come with call to action. These are just some of the things I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to be doing direct selling. Because as we've established, we don't have the time to just post every day and to come to us. We don't have that time. So we're going to go to them and tell them why we are the best choice for them. One of the things that you're going to keep in mind is that you need to be very intentional with all these steps I'm telling you, because revenue will build back your confidence much better than aesthetics. Remember that things came crashing down, okay? So if you're all about being pretty, branding, and all that, very soon you will give up permanently. Not because you're a bad person or because you're lazy, but because you, at that point in time, you need something that will boost your morale. And nothing is going to boost your morale faster than money is entering your bank account. When that happens, it gives you that faith that, okay, I think there's still hope in this business. I think I can still make something of my life. If you're just branding, weeks pass by, months pass by, nothing is entering your account. Before you know it, you start saying, I don't even know if this thing will work. I will just let everything go and rest. That's the way you start thinking. Now, moving on to the step 2. I'm going to now build authority, and I will build this authority fast. Remember that everything we're doing, we don't have time. So even when I'm building authority, I'm going to be building it fast. I need it to, I don't have that time to be doing, let's take it step by step, no. And I'm going to be building it in different ways. One, I can build it by documenting my journey. Now, this is the idea about building in the open. You know when they tell people build in the open? This is the idea about building in the open. You might have built the first one that came down in secret and all, then you will now be showing your results in the open. But for this one, you're going to build in the open. So people are going to be seeing your growth. They're going to be seeing how you're moving. It's going to make them part of it. People follow growth. And when you're transparent, it also builds trust. So when you are kind of teaching what you're learning, it keeps you ahead of other people. It keeps you ahead of other people. Then I'm going to make sure I'm using my short form content powerfully. You see short form content, I'm going to make sure I'm using it very well. So my short form content, like our Reels, our TikToks, YouTube Shorts, those are our 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds content. I'm going to be using them consistently. Like when I mean consistently, I mean minimum of 1 a day. Should be aiming for 2, 3 every day. Why? Because those short form content, they go further than the long form content. Yes. It's even surprising down to even lives that it will surprise you that lives that are short, they have better reach than the lives that are 1 hour, 2 hours. So those bite-sized pieces, they travel further than the long short form. So the long ones help you to establish authority, yes, but those ones are the ones that are going to help you with virality and getting yourself out there and getting more people to know you. So we're looking at vertical videos. We're going to make sure our hook is hooking. From the first 5 seconds of the video, you've captured our attention, you've captured us. I'm going to use simple frameworks, keep my editing simple, because I'm planning on, putting out these things in bulk. So if I don't keep my editing simple, it means that I'm going to be spending 2 days, 3 days editing one video, and then, okay, how many will I post? Remember, we said minimum of one a day. So keep my editing simple, keep it, very, very, you know, hello, hello, hello. For those that have joined us while I was still talking, you can drop your questions in the comments if you have anyone. Okay? Okay. Hi, hi. Hi, Philemon. Okay, so I've talked about the short form content. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to network strategically. I will make sure I'm networking strategically. I'm not going to be networking in a way that, some people will say, I went to an event and I networked. And you ask them how. And they tell you, I just went there and I was just meeting people. Networking is not just that you went to an event and you met people. They don't have your contact details. You don't have their contact details. You do not have any plans for partnership. They do not have any plans for partnership. In fact, they didn't even clearly understand what you do, and neither did you. What do you think you did in that place? Just say you attended an event. You did not network. So I'm going to be networking strategically. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I would be looking at how to do collaborations. I'll be looking at podcasting, being a guest on other people's podcasts. I don't have the time to start my own podcast now, but I can be a guest on as many people's podcasts as possible because their audience can now get to know about me, check out what I do, and hopefully buy from me. So I'm going to also be using my comments very well, be commenting strategically. Be commenting strategically, making friends using my comments. And in every room I walk into, I will be visible. It's not the time to you walk into a room, you go and find one corner and hide. No. Everywhere you walk into, you make sure that you are visible and people are seeing you. Okay? So make sure anytime you walk in, people are seeing you and it's clear that everybody is seeing you and they are getting to know what you're all about too. Visibility is going to compound. If you are silent, don't be a business owner because silence is only going to delay you in this place. Silence is not going to help you get what you're trying to achieve. You need visibility, and for visibility, you need to speak. That's why they say closed mouths don't get fed. You need to open your mouth and speak to be able to get it. Now, moving on to the next step. Our lives are always very short, so I just try to hit the nail on the head and then we end it. Okay. So the next step is that I'm going to invest faster. I'm going to invest in mentorship. I'm going to invest in strategy, clarity. I'm going to invest in community. I'm going to invest in skill development. Like, I am going to invest in all these things because starting everything afresh and you're now doing it alone. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's going to be very difficult. So I would make sure that I have a good support system and I'm not doing it alone. That doesn't mean that you're doing it alone. Speed is going to come from proximity to the people that have answers to your questions. When you're close to the people that have answers to your questions, you get speed. That is why you can have a goal that you've been trying to achieve for 1 year is a struggle. You just get this access to someone and the person has answers to all those your questions. And before you know it, that thing that you couldn't do in 1 year, you do it in 1 week. Speed. comes from proximity. Okay? Then I'm going to make sure that I'm tracking. I'm tracking everything that I can. My followers, my views, my likes, my revenue, because money reveals whether what you're doing is working or not. At the end of the day, the money in your bank account is going to reflect and show you what you're doing. Is it working or is it not working? Now, there are some mistakes that I'm going to avoid. I'll talk about that and then we wrap up for today's live. Remember that if you have any questions, you can drop it in the comments. I haven't seen questions so far. I've seen comments. Thank you for the love. I've seen lots of love. But if you have any questions, you can drop it, because once I wrap up with the mistakes I would avoid starting a new business, starting from fresh, once I wrap up with that, we end our live. So for those of us that joined late, you can go back to the channel and you're going to see the replay of this video there, and the replay of all the other Fix It with Oma that we've had. So we have Fix It with Oma 3 p.m. every Wednesday. So we actually rescheduled the one for this week to today because of some reasons. But from next week, best believe that we're going to keep to our schedule, and it's going to be 3 p.m. every Wednesday, unfailingly, West African time. All right? So mistakes I would avoid is that, first of all, I won't wait to feel ready. Remember that we have established it that you don't have that much. Remember that when you're starting something new, you don't have that much trust and faith that this thing will work. So if you're waiting to feel ready, you will never start, because you will never feel ready. You have not done it before. How do you expect to feel ready? Those of us that, we used to read for our exams in university that time, those of us that used to read for exams, you would agree with me that even if you start reading a month to the D-Day, you will still not be ready on the morning of the exam. You will still be feeling like, I've not really covered this chapter, I've not really covered this page. You would never feel completely ready. But are you going to have to take the exam or not? You're going to have to take the exam. So don't wait to feel ready. It's a big mistake, because if you're waiting to feel ready, you would never start. Now, the second one is that some of us, we are starting something, but we are too focused on trying to look big instead of being effective, instead of getting results. That's why we focus so much on branding. Now, don't get me wrong. Branding is great. Branding is important. I brand. All of my stuffs are on brand, starting from our social media pages to our websites, everything. So our branding is on point. So I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of branding. But then what I'm going to do is that branding can make you get stuck in a place where you keep on planning perpetually. You never get out of the planning stage, and that's bad for you. So if you're always trying to look big instead of trying to be effective, you're not going to get the kind of results that you're looking for. Then another thing that some of us do is overconsumption. Every week you are signing up for course. You will take the course. So you are not like those people that know used to take their course. Your own, you will take it. You will read the ebook. Implement is where problem is. Overconsumption. You have consumed and you've consumed and you've consumed and you've consumed. Only on video editing, you have like 4 courses and you've taken all of them. Edit one video, problem. Now you are even confused, because what course 1 taught you, course 2 said it's a lie, that step no is to work. Course 3 now also said, no, this my style is the best. You are all over the place, you're confused. If you're over consuming, you're never going to be in that place where you're going to execute, and that's bad for you. Then for some of us, undercharging. Because when we're starting new, we are scared. We don't even have customers. We don't know anybody. So I don't want to charge, or we chase people. So we don't even charge. So you undercharging from fear, you're also doing yourself bad. And of course, inconsistency. Inconsistency disguised as strategy shifts. Some of us, we just started something. The next thing we say, we are going on a break to re-strategize. Going on a break to re-strategize since how many months you have not come back. I'm sure you know at least one person that is like that. It's not been that long they started though, maybe a few months. They now made a post. We are going on a break and we'll be back better. Since 2024, they are still not back. Not to talk of being better. So stop trying to use strategy, planning, and all that, to make yourself to be inconsistent. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it. Okay? You need to tell yourself that I'm going to be building for income and not ego. Some of us are building for ego. That's why you have not posted on that your TikTok since you created it. You want aesthetics. You want everything to be fine and perfect. So it's your ego that you're building for. You're not building for income. Go on TikTok now. Some people, if you see their house and they are recording in that place and people are loving it, they are monetizing, they're even getting brand deals. Your house is finer than their own. And you are there. I need to set up my space. I need to do this one. I need to do that one. Since 2 years now, you have not started. When will you start? So you need to ask yourself some questions. Ask yourself, am I visible or am I just busy? And answer that question honestly. Am I or am I just busy? Some of us are busy. We are so busy. And if you give yourself, just offer yourself, you would always be busy. But is it productive? Is money entering your bank account? Most people don't need more information. They just need fewer distractions. They just need to focus. So tell yourself that you're going to focus this month. Tell yourself that you're going to sell this month. Tell yourself that you're going to show up this month. And tell yourself that I am going to refine and be consistent this month. You need direction. You need direction. And if you would like to work with me, if you'd like me to give you that direction, please feel free to contact us. If you go to our website, digitalbizguru.com.ng, you'll be able to find more information about the work we do. You can visit any of our social media channels. We're on your favorite social media channel at DigitalBizGuru, and you will see our contact information. Reach out to book a session with me, and we can talk and give you the direction that you're looking for in your business so that you will focus on doing the things that are going to help you make money and not just being busy doing nothing. Thank you for being here. Now, I want you to go out there and go and build like someone with urgency. Build as if Lapo is chasing you for money that you're owing them. Don't build in a way that you think you have all the time in the world, because you don't. And I'm going to be seeing you next week, Wednesday, same time. Have an amazing day ahead. Bye-bye.